I was 17 when I was forced out of my home, clutching $12 and a plastic garbage bag. Now, years later, my family, who ignored me for so long and fed lies about me, wants to move into my $750,000 house. My father once told me I wasn't meant for greatness. It wasn't a fleeting jab, thrown in anger. No, he spoke it deliberately, as if he was offering me clarity, as if accepting my role in the family would make everything smoother. "You're the extra," he said, eyes fixed on his coffee mug. "Your brother's the one who matters." Those words etched themselves into me. Growing up, I always felt like a side note in someone else's tale. My older brother, Ethan, was the shining star, athlete, scholar, the family's pride. He had the room with the view, a shiny new car at 16, and a dad who called him sport, even after his mistakes. Me? I got worn-out clothes, skeptical looks, and scoldings for breathing too loudly. At first, I thought I was the issue. I pushed myself harder, got a job at 15, kept my grades up, even helped Ethan with his science homework when he started struggling. But nothing shifted. My mom called me idle when I slept past 9 a.m. after late shifts at the cafe. My dad said I lacked drive when I dreamed of culinary school over college. And Ethan? He'd grin whenever they criticized me, as if he savored every jab. Things spiraled the summer before my final high school year. Ethan crashed his car after a party, totaled it while drunk. I found him in the garage, tears streaming, blood on his cheek, pleading with me to keep it quiet. I did. I said I'd taken the car without permission, that I'd lost control and fled. I thought maybe this would earn me their trust, show I could put family first. Instead, they threw me out. My dad didn't raise his voice. He just gestured to the door and said, "Get your stuff. You've disgraced us enough." That night, I slept in a park pavilion. The next day, I returned to grab my school bag from the steps, only to find a garbage bag with my clothes and a note. "You're on your own. Make something of it." No one checked on me. Not once. My mom told neighbors I'd chosen to run away, that I was defiant. Ethan went on a beach trip a week later, posting photos like nothing had happened. I survived on double shifts at a gas station, sleeping on flattened boxes in the back when the owner wasn't around. The worst part? The silence. No birthday calls, no holiday greetings, no "Are you okay?" It was as if I'd vanished. For 3 years, I clawed my way forward. I earned an associate's degree in business at a community college, moved towns, and started a small freelance marketing gig using library internet. Slowly, I felt free of them. Until last month. A text from my mom. "Is that you on the sign by Highway 12? It was. The local business council had featured me as a rising entrepreneur after I helped local stores boost their online sales during the pandemic. It wasn't global fame, but to me, it was everything. Proof I wasn't just an afterthought. 2 hours later, my dad called. I didn't pick up. Then came voicemails from Ethan, from distant relatives, all suddenly friendly, curious, supportive. I didn't respond. I knew why they were calling. They hadn't changed. They just saw something they wanted. The next day, my mom left another message. "We're struggling. Ethan and his wife might lose their apartment. Could they stay in your extra room for a bit?" I laughed out loud. Extra room? There was none. I'd bought my house outright, with cash. I didn't reply to her. Not that day, not the next, not even when Aunt Clara emailed saying, "It'd mean a lot if you helped the family now." Help? Where were they when I was sleeping in a park, Aunt Clara? It's strange how family gets thrown around like it erases everything, like shared blood wipes away years of neglect. I didn't block them or lash out online, I just stayed quiet. But quiet wasn't enough. A week later, I came home from a meeting and saw their old gray sedan parked across from my house. No mistaking it. On my porch, holding a container of what I assumed was apology-laced cookies, was my mother. She stood as I approached. "You look so successful," she said, arms outstretched. I didn't move. "Mom," I said, "why are you here?" She smiled, like this was a friendly visit. "I just wanted to see you. It's been too long." I leaned against the doorframe. "Is Ethan okay?" Her expression shifted, and there it was, the real reason. "He and Sarah lost their place," she said. "They're behind on rent, and with the baby coming, they need somewhere to stay. Your dad thought maybe we could all crash here for a while." I almost laughed. "You threw me out with a garbage bag and a note," I said. "I pleaded for you to hear me, and you told me to learn from it. Now you want my home, my peace, for the son you chose over me?" She blinked, stunned. "It was messy back then. We thought we were doing the right thing." "No," I interrupted. "You did what was convenient. You believed Ethan because it was easier, even if it destroyed me." Silence. For a moment, I saw guilt in her eyes, then deflection. didn't know you'd turn out like this. You've done so well. Maybe it wasn't all bad. That right there. They abandoned me and now wanted credit for my success. You're not coming in, I said. Tell Dad, Ethan, everyone, there's no room here. She opened her mouth, likely to argue, but I was already turning the key. Then she said it. You're being selfish. I stopped, turned, and smiled. No, Mom. I'm just done being a tool for people who only notice me when they need something. I shut the door. She didn't knock again. That night, I lay awake, replaying it all. Their audacity to show up, to ask for my home, to act like we were still family. Guilt crept in. What if I was the bad one now? But I remembered my mom's face at the school meeting when Ethan lied about me shoving him, how she wept for him, never once looking at me with trust or care, just judgment. I remembered being forced out, the silence that followed. I owed them nothing, but I wasn't done. I wanted accountability, not vengeance. So I wrote a message, not to them, but to my extended family, cousins, aunts, uncles who'd heard their lies for years, who thought I was troubled, wild. I told them everything. The car crash, my false confession, the garbage bag, the years of silence, the cookie container visit. I attached a screenshot of a text Ethan sent years ago, gloating about how easy it was to get me out of the picture. I sent it. For once, I wasn't afraid. The message spread fast in the family chat I'd muted long ago. My phone buzzed non-stop. Aunt Linda. Is this true? I had no idea. Uncle Ray. They said you ran off, that you were on drugs. Cousin Tara. I always wondered why you vanished. I'm so sorry. Messages of shock, regret, unease poured in. I didn't write for sympathy. I wrote for truth. Then, a name I didn't expect. Sarah, Ethan's wife. I'm so sorry, she wrote. He told me you were dangerous, that your grandparents took you in after you attacked your mom. I feel ill. I stared at her words. Then another message. I left him yesterday. She'd read my email to Ethan aloud. He laughed, then got defensive, then furious, tried to snatch her phone and yelled at her for believing me. Sarah, 8 months pregnant, done with his lies, packed a bag and went to her mom's. She said my words broke through his facade. She saw the truth and wanted better for their child. I didn't gloat. I just replied, you made the right choice. That should have been the end. But Ethan never liked being exposed. Days later, I was leaving a bakery when I heard my name. I turned, and there he was. Ethan, looking worn, unshaven, in the same old team jacket, clinging to his high school glory. Think you're above me now? He spat. I didn't answer. He stepped closer. Always the victim, huh? Want everyone to pity you with your sad little story? I smelled whiskey on his breath. You lied, I said, steady. So what? He laughed, sharp and bitter. You made it, didn't you? Got your fancy house? Your big sign? Stop whining. I wanted to scream, to list every night I sobbed alone, every birthday ignored, every time I doubted myself because of him. But he wanted a fight. So I stepped past, opened my car door and said, you lied. I succeeded. Live with it. I drove off, leaving him in the parking lot. That evening I had dinner with my grandmother. She was the only one who never needed convincing. I told her everything, the email, the messages, the encounter with Ethan. She listened, hands clasped, nodding quietly. When I finished, she took my hand. You did right, she said. That was enough. A week later, a certified letter arrived from my parents' attorney, threatening defamation over my email. I laughed. My lawyer, yes, I finally got one, said their claims were empty, especially with Ethan's text as evidence. They never followed through. They went silent again. When I stopped being useful, I stopped existing. Then I did something I hadn't in years. I framed the note from the garbage bag. You're on your own. Make something of it. It hangs in my office, beside my business council award. Some framed degrees, I framed a lesson. And turned it into a vow extra. That's what they called me. A shadow in the family picture. A chair left empty at meals. A name only whispered with, what's wrong with her? But the cruelest part of being extra? They try to reuse you. And that's what they did. A week later, a certified letter arrived from my parents' attorney, threatening defamation over my email. I laughed. My lawyer, yes, I finally got one, said their claims were empty, especially with Ethan's text as evidence. They never followed through. They went silent again. When I stopped being useful, I stopped existing. Then I did something I hadn't in years. I framed the note from the garbage bag. You're on your own. Make something of it. It hangs in my office, beside my business council award. Some framed degrees, I framed a lesson, and turned it into a vow. Extra. That's what they called me. A shadow in the family picture. A chair left empty at meals. A name only whispered with, "What's wrong with her?" But the cruelest part of being extra? They try to reuse you. And that's what they did. It started again with a knock. Not a text or call, but a knock at my door, just after sunset. I hesitated, but opened it. Not my mother this time. My father. He looked smaller, diminished, in a worn jacket, holding an envelope. Not a letter, but documents. "I'm giving you the house," he said, eyes down. "Your grandmother said you deserved it more than we ever did." My grandmother. Then he said it. "She's sick." No buildup, just truth. Cancer. Advanced. We sat on the porch, where my mom once begged for space, in silence. "She didn't want to worry you," he said. "Said she was proud of your work." Proud. That word cut deeper than any insult. I stared at the garden she'd helped me plant. Sage, thyme, daisies, her living legacy. I pushed down my anger. This wasn't about them anymore. It was her. She passed 3 weeks later in my home, the one they said I'd never earn. I held her hand as her breathing slowed. She wasn't scared. "Plant something new every year," she said. "That's how you grow." Then she was gone, but not before her final gift. Under her bed, in a wooden box, was a letter in her careful script. To the granddaughter they overlooked. Inside were journals, pages yellowed, dated from when I was 8, 10, 13. She'd recorded everything. My ignored birthdays, the accusations, the lies. How Ethan framed me. How my mom called me a burden behind closed doors. Proof. And at the bottom, a deed to her house, signed to me. Her true heir. I didn't cry. Not because I wasn't broken, but because her act was strength, not sorrow. It was justice. She'd rewritten our story. The funeral was small by my choice. No open invites, no drama, just people who'd honor her memory without rewriting it. But they came anyway. Ethan, my mother. In black, like it hid their past, lingering at the crowd's edge. After the service, my mom approached. No tears, just a glance at the garden, the house, the friends who chose me. "Is it true?" she asked. "Did she leave everything to you?" I met her gaze. Yes. That night, a typed letter appeared on my doorstep. Formal, cold, requesting to stay in her house for healing. The same house they'd left her in when she took me in. I sat with it for hours. Then I wrote back. "Dear Mr. and Mrs. Carter, thank you for your request to stay at 49 Oakwood Drive. Regrettably, all spaces are occupied by tranquility, truth, and the enduring fragrance of sage. We cannot accommodate those who discarded these values. May you find refuge in the consequences of your choices. Sincerely, the extra no longer." I posted it online, not for revenge, but for honesty. It spread, shared, reposted, discussed. Not for gossip, but for connection. So many reached out, other extras who'd been the backbone all along. Today, I walked through my grandmother's garden and planted a new rosebush, named Renewal, as I promised. This story doesn't end in exile or rage. It ends in roots. I'm not extra. I'm the seed that grew. Thank you for reading and joining this journey. Subscribe and tap the bell for more unforgettable stories.